The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN Monday morning. We kick things off. We got about 20 minutes to go until the beginning of trading, and you have the S&Ps beginning down 19 points. But market, I don't want to call it saving itself because we are trading right now at 62.80. We're right near all-time record highs. But yeah, we got a little bit of tariff volatility persisting. This morning, we're talking about tariff volatility. We'll pull up the headline with the, European Union, August 1st, okay? And then you got in there Mexico. And yeah, but the EU, Mexico last week. Yeah, how about 30%, man? All right, let's talk about the markets, man. We get the S&Ps. So we climbed back. We were making pre-market session highs within the last 30 minutes as we were talking at 62.84. We're only down by 18 points, and that is basically nothing in this market, folks. It really is in terms of the tariff volatility over the weekend. Now, we just wrapped up earnings season, okay, and we'll get into it. We're coming into earnings season at the end of this week. We got the banks coming in among some other equities as well. But yeah, when you talk about Europe, man, jumping around to a few articles I got pulled up here. So you got Canada out there with 35% potentially. You could have 15 to 20% across the board. And then we get the EU over the weekend. So August 1st is going to be here before you know it. This market, a little bit complacent. We jump over to the NASDAQ 100. Put it back to a 5-minute chart. And yeah, you just traded up 100 points from where we were at about 3 a.m. this morning. You gap lower to 22,800. We're trading about 22,900. Now, we take a look at the price and volume. Okay, I was talking about it on Friday. And yeah, you had a little bit of an uptick in volume, but that was actually the pullback. But nonetheless, you can see the trend is just a fade higher on thin volume. And yeah, just lighter and lighter and lighter as we've crept higher. We'll see if today the market wakes up to some of these fears because, boy, it's pretty remarkable that August 1st is the 3 weeks, folks, is what it is exactly. We have 15 trading days until August 1st. President seems like he's up in the ante, man. We'll see if he does. But, yeah, things are ratcheting up. You get it ratcheted up over the weekend, of course. And, yeah, 30% tariff letter leaves the EU scrambling to bring U.S. on side, as CNBC puts it. EU leaders have said they're still aiming to come to an agreement, but it just ratchets it up, man. 30%. You better watch out. The market's pricing none of this in right now. Which even to a certain degree, it would seem like you price in at least a tail risk that things are going to get a little messy, at least on August 1st. But there's no mess right now in the equity markets at all. And, guess what? We come into earnings season. And, yeah, they kick off tomorrow, folks. Okay? So you got banks tomorrow. And you got, I think, Netflix on Thursday, American Express in there. So it's a big one. We jump over to yields this morning. It's not stopping. Lower price and higher yield. I don't know how it's going to happen, but the market is telling the Fed, the market's telling the Fed, market's telling everybody right now that higher yields are coming at you, man. We got the 10-year sitting at the lows of last week at 110.22. You're sitting with a yield right now of about 4.35%. 4.42%. I'll pull up that yield curve for a moment. Yeah, we're climbing now. 4.4, actually. 4.44, 4.44. I'll get it out. Is that right? Yeah, 4.44. I had to check myself. As we're coming up to 4.44. 5 yet again. You jump over to the dollar, DXY rising to 98 right now, and the gold contract up at 33.61. But boy, we're going to talk some Bitcoin, man. Bitcoin heading to 131, folks. We're at 122,000. We'll come right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger Zen, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger Zen, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. And as we have the markets continuing to climb and claw back those losses, right now you have the S&P's only off by about 16 points. The market just unfazed with tariff concerns whatsoever right now. Bitcoin, unfazed with anything. We're up another 3%, up another $34,480, 122,000. And yeah, as I said, right, there's your A to B. You blow past the B point, you break out of that area last week, and boy, you make a run, man. And that run, yeah, a 1-to-1 brings you to 131,500 on Bitcoin. And geez, we might be there by the time I'm off the air in 40 minutes, folks, the way Bitcoin's trading right now. You jump over to Ethereum, just not competing. Even when you look at the run we're having in Bitcoin, up almost 3%, Ethereum, yeah, you're positive by $36. Okay, you're $1,000 off the highs you made earlier in the year. There is meme momentum in Bitcoin right now, folks. Okay, and that's a great thing on the way up. It can be a tough thing on the way down. There is meme momentum in Bitcoin right now, so be careful. It's like crypto week in Congress or something like that. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Listen, you want to ride this thing up to 131, but there's a real risk of a pullback, man. We've seen how these things go before. Okay, in terms of the run up to the election, to inauguration day is what, January 6th? There it is right there at 103,000. Well, folks, you had to ride that train down to 74,000 from 103. Right? You had to ride that thing down 30% before the next leg higher. Well, a 30% pullback right now is $36,000 on Bitcoin, which would put you at what, 84 grand? Somewhere in this mix? Nonetheless, man, this thing, no signs of slowing down right now. And yeah, Bitcoin on a daily basis, strong volume on that breakaway. Going to be tough to match that volume today, but it's trying, man. You did almost 13,000 contracts on Friday. And of course, there's huge action over the weekend everywhere else. But nonetheless, that is contract volume. And yeah, you're trading higher with volume on Bitcoin. All right, we jump back to the tariff. So we're talking about EU. We're talking about a potential tariff. Let me pull up of 30%. Okay, this is the headline from CNBC. You're talking about 30% tariff later leaves the EU scrambling to bring the U.S. on the side. On their side, maybe? What is that? On side. What does that mean? To bring U.S. on side. CNBC. Good old CNBC. Now, Bloomberg takes a little bit of a deeper dive. Okay, Trump's tariffs push economies to broaden trade ties. Now, this had me thinking about the law of unintended consequences, right? And yeah, you better believe that everyone's exploring all options out there. Okay, and in the short term, that won't play out. So this isn't even a market. But bigger term, you look at it, yeah, you better believe that they're going to want to broaden things, right? You're so reliant on the U.S. Now they're going to deal with a tariff deadline looming on a 2 to 3 week basis. The EU is preparing to step up engagement with other countries hit by those tariffs following those threats. Okay, there's always regular contact with other countries. There's a new sense of urgency. You better believe it, man. Contacts with nations including Canada, Japan, and this is from the EU, okay, comes as Canada and the EU's trade talks with the U.S. have dragged on. Punishing tariffs just 2 weeks away. Realistically, we got 15 trading days until August 1st now. But yeah, EU competition chief. We need to explore how deep we can go in the Pacific region with other countries. Okay, that was on Bloomberg from Beijing, where she's visiting China. But yeah, you talk about U.S. exports to the EU, Canada, Mexico, imports, trade balance. Yeah, but we still export a tremendous amount of goods to those countries. $666 billion. We'll round it up to 667. Nonetheless, a big number, man. So yeah, always interesting when we'll see how it plays out on a longer term. But boy, this market, you talk about strength, man. And yeah, so we got crypto week. Is that what it is? Man, so ETFs tied to Bitcoin. This is quite a number, man. Hey, they all run in sometimes the euphoria, right? My dad used to talk about when they get phone calls. Now listen, there's volume at the top though. But yeah, record inflows into Bitcoin ETFs. So how about Thursday? Okay. Now, Thursday, 1.18 billion in inflows to ETFs tied to Bitcoin. Their best day so far this year. I mean, come on, people. That's what you want to say, right? Really? That's the day at 113,000 people are inflowing into Bitcoin. Hey, they're riding the momentum, and maybe they're going to ride it up to 131. That's where I think it's heading. We'll see. But yeah, the House of Representatives is set to consider new legislation this week that aims to establish a clearer regulatory framework for digital asset industry. One of the bills set to be deliberated during what's dubbed Crypto Week is the Genius Act, which would create federal guardrails for stablecoins pegged to the U.S. dollar. Well, you better believe it, man. That's one of the biggest ones out there, right? That stablecoin, is it stable? They put stable in the name. If they have to put it in the name, it might not be stable. All right. And yeah, how about Superman? That's crazy. Like, the movie business, man, is just insane in terms of you crush it. There's so much more at stake with these companies than one single movie, because you have, this is a Warner Brothers Discovery film, okay? Superman. The whole budget was like $250 million. They took in about $220 million opening weekend. Yeah, took in $120 million domestic, about $95 million overseas. Originally, they were thinking $130 to $140 million. I guess the reviews have been great. It looks great. It looks like the classic Christopher Reeve Superman. It does, which I just, I'm biased. I'm an older man now. I'm in my mid-40s, and I grew up watching that, and I love it. And it seems like that's what the ode is back to. David Corenswet stars in Superman. Gonna have to check that one out. But check out Warner Brothers Discovery. You're not even positive, man. They just crushed it. Well, they got a lot of optimism built in. But yeah, that's a big beat. And a big beat for movie theaters in general. Jump over to AMC. That says it all with some of these companies, folks. Where you got a $250 million opening weekend for a film, but it's an exceptional film. There's only one reboot of Superman going on to some degree. But boy, these markets. All right. Let's jump around to some of the leaders out there. You got Amazon shares. Looks like they're going to open a few pennies in the green right now. We jump over to the big equity out there. NVIDIA. Going to open by another 50 pennies. NVIDIA's not slowing down. Microsoft, a little bit in the red this morning at a 501 handle from a 503 close. Excuse me. Jump over to Google shares. Basically flat this morning. We jump over to Meta. Slightly in the red at 716 right now, and you jump over to Netflix. Netflix is going to have their earnings out this week. We'll take a look at Netflix when we get back, pulling back almost $100 off the highs at $13.41. How about that? $100, just like that. July 14th, we were at $13.41 on June 30th. $100, just like that. Netflix trading at $1,245. All right, folks, S&Ps. We clawed back to single digits. Look at this charge higher. We're right back to where we were on the close of the session. We're coming back for the opening bell. Don't go away, folks.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn. and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We have the stock market open, and the market shakes off the potential EU 30% by August 1st, 15 trading days. Until August 1st, we plow higher, right in the final minutes coming into that opening bell, and we're negative by 8 points. NASDAQ off by 24, Dow off by 69, the Russell barely negative by 3. Not Bitcoin, man, up to 123,000. You talk about it. Ooh. Crude, a little bit of a bid as well, but just sold off in the last, 30 minutes or so. Look at that sell-off we got right at 9 o'clock. Crude was up to almost $70. We were up to $69.65, and we're trading right now still up by 10 pennies on the session at $68.55. Gold, flat after trading up to $33.89 overnight. You take a look at the daily on gold, and yeah, that was some strength on Friday, man. No denying it. We had dollar strength, and gold was just trading higher on a little bit of the tariff volatility. And if that's what's going to persist right now, okay, and it looks like it is. Looks like we have 15 days of tariff volatility coming in. Market hasn't reacted yet, but that's giving the dollar a little bit of a bid. Okay, it's giving yields a bid. And gold is actually holding up very well as that's coming back in, all things considered right now. All right, Netflix up by 0.6% right now. Jump over to Amazon, slightly in the green. Check in on the biggest company in the world, NVIDIA. They give it up slightly, off by 40 pennies right now. Meta up 0.3%. We check in on retail. Walmart shares up by 0.2%. Target shares flat right now. I'll tell you a quick story. All right, I talk about Target, talk about Walmart, talk about Nintendo, the Switch 2. So we're in Walmart, let's say Friday or Saturday. And Friday, we're in Walmart Friday night, 4 or 5. No, I finished the show at 4 o'clock, 4, 5, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. We're in Walmart, Tommy and I, and they have the Nintendo Switch 2 for demo. Okay, Walmart has had it, Target has had it since it's launched. Maybe they're getting 10, 20 consoles a day in the beginning, something like that. Target was getting 10, I think, would check in. But neither of them had a demo for where you could actually demo the console. You know, they put it in the electronics section, you demo it. So what happens is we show up Friday and Walmart has the demo. So it's cool. Tommy got to play the Switch 2, right? He knew it was out. He got to play it. Pretty similar, all things considered. They got Mario Kart World, something like that. Looks almost identical to the regular Mario Kart on the Nintendo Switch. But the kicker is Target doesn't have it in yet. It seems like a small detail, right? But imagine if you're running Target. Imagine if you run the electronics division at Target. Imagine if you're in operations at Target. And you show up at Walmart and they have the Switch demo, the new Switch, and then your store doesn't, right? Who's in charge of that? How does that happen? Why are they a second rate, and I'm generalizing, but these are the details, man. Imagine if I'm running Target and I'm in Walmart and they have the Switch 2 demo and Target doesn't have it. Who am I talking to and who am I getting on the phone Monday to say, why is Walmart eating our lunch? And guess what? Okay, Walmart, yeah, they're in a much better negotiation stance when they come to these retailers. Okay, they can always get, and I say always now, they got a big competitor in Amazon, of course, and others, but there are economies of scale, right? You want to sell goods at Walmart, many times, going back years and years, they would literally make you make an agreement with them that if you want to put your product in their stores, okay, you're not going to undercut them on price with anybody else. That way they can always compete on price. So they have that position. But it just made me say, man, Target, what is going on? How can you not simply talk to the same retailer and you see what happens is, it's a better store experience. Why does Walmart have that? Anyway, small issues, but you see the difference sometimes where that's a Somebody's in charge of that for electronics, etc., right? Why is Nintendo putting it in Walmart before they're putting it in Target? Seems tiny, but it's not when those situations go further up and down the line for more important things than maybe that, right? What else is going on that somehow they can't procure a demo at the same time as their biggest retail competitor out there, Walmart? All right, let's talk a little bit of earnings. So, we said you're going to get Netflix earnings after the bell on Thursday, okay? What are we talking about now? Yeah, $532 billion company for Netflix. Hey, take a look at the volume on this thing on a daily. Quite a run higher. And yeah, that was a little bit of a sell-off. That July 1st sell, man. That is volume off the top. And we got volume right where we are on that day from June 20th, too. Oof. Not how you want to see it trade higher, right? You rip lower on June 20th. Okay, that was an intraday day where we made it all the way up to 1248 and closed almost $20 lower at 1231. You did it with volume. You get above there with pretty razor-thin volume up to June 30th. You sell off on the 1st, and we've sold off since then. And, you know, this is just one of those instances, folks, that at some point, okay, you're going to have to take a breather. Let's back it up even further. I mean, this is like, it's not like, I hate the word like, it's just a filler. This is a straight shot. Okay, yeah, we had some volatility from 1,070 with some tariff volatility. Nothing was spared from the tariff volatility of February to Liberation Day, to the 90-day pause, right? Outside of that, this equity just traded from 162 to 1,340 bucks. You want to see something that'll blow your mind? Healthy pullback brings this thing down to the consolidation area of 900. That's just a healthy pullback of the 382. You want to get a little bit more conservative? Healthy pullback brings you down a whole nother $100 to this consolidation area. And that's maybe where I'm looking. 1150. You know, maybe they plow higher, but everybody knows they're crushing the world in advertising right now. They made quite a transition. But I don't like that volume off the top. Look at that selling we had last week. All right? And that was decent selling the week of July 4th as well. You did 13.3 million shares in Netflix the week of July 4th on 3.5 days. You do 20 million the next week. Look at that selling. We haven't had a week like that since that May when we traded up to 1,200. Yeah, and there's your volume from May 30th at about 1,200. Since then, we've had one green bar of strength, but guess what? Look at that, right? June 27th, you trade higher on 4 million shares, you get above it on 3.2, and then you rip lower on 5 million shares. So that's your area. 1,300 is the ceiling right now. Looks like pressure's to the downside right now for Netflix coming into their numbers. And then we get the banks. So tomorrow, we get the banks kicking it off, man. We get JP Morgan out with their numbers. Take a look at the banks. All right, so Monday you trade. Tuesday you get a real rip lower with some volume there. We're right in the middle of that range right now. So we get JP Morgan on Tuesday. We get Wells Fargo on Tuesday as well. Wells Fargo down about 0.2% right now. We get Citi on Tuesday morning before the bell as well. Citi down about 0.1%. On Wednesday, look at these banks, man. They're all coming. Bank of America, basically flat this morning. We get Goldman Sachs, up 0.1%. You get Morgan Stanley, up about 0.2%. All right, other companies in there. You get Pepsi on Thursday. Look at that one, man. Talk about inverse on the market. Pepsi struggling. Down by 0.5% today. You get American Express on Friday as well. Up 0.1% right now. Markets fighting off tariff concerns. Off by just 7 points. Coming right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. The first move's not always the move that lasts. We got a little bit of resistance at that 62.95 price point, and we'll see. This is a 5-minute bar, so we just came into this one, and you had a little bit of actually selling coming off. You trade higher in the pre-market, and then you come in. Let's put it back to on 1 minute just for a second to see that move. You actually peaked out at the open, right? You traded up, but since the market's open, we've actually sold off about 10 points, and we got some selling going on right now. And that volume's going to end that minute as we end right now. But yeah, we got a little bit of selling right now. Let's jump over to the VIX. Volatility index right now. Elevated, naturally. Up by 93 pennies. And yeah, the market was almost even. All right. And this, we talked to our man Tim Ward in the afternoons, Tuesday and Thursday at 3:30, folks. Always a great segment. And one of the things that Tim's been talking about a lot is the SPY VIX ratio. Okay, we got a couple of great webinars at TFNN under the services tab that Tim has done. One of those, the 6 secret ratios, one of the VIX, one of the ratios he talks about is this SPY VIX. And it just makes such intuitive sense, okay? In terms of, what do you think the SPY VIX is doing today, right? Well, here's an example, folks, okay, of how that ratio works, just so you can completely understand why these ratios can work so well. Is you just take a S&P at 62.83 over the VIX where it closed out Friday. Let's just call it 1650. Okay, that's a ratio of about 380 380. We'll call it 381. Right? You take that same S&P of 6283 and you divide it by where the VIX is now, 17.34. And you're at 362. Yeah, you just dropped from 380 to 362. Okay? You just see that? Yeah. Now, the SPY is down 17 points. That changes things a little bit, right? You have the SPY 17 points higher. But when you get a VIX spike, that SPY, okay, if you're following those Tim Wards, and we'll talk to him tomorrow, as we do at 3:30, okay? We'll see where the VIX is then, the S&P. But right now, that SPY-VIX ratio, it's got to be dropping. Because you have the VIX up almost a full dollar, which is up 6%. And that is the denominator, right? The bottom part of the fraction, going from 16.5 to 17.5 almost. Yeah, that is going to bring that SPY VIX down dramatically when you talk about that ratio. Bringing the market down right now as well. Amazon down 0.3% right now. We check out the leaders. Meta is flat after a little volatility on the open. You jump over to Tesla shares this morning. Nope, that's not it. TSLA up by 0.9%. Little volatility as well. Netflix, as I mentioned, their earnings this week up by 0.7%. Ooh, okay, that's a little worrisome. Nvidia ripping lower, down by 1.6%, all on the open. That's a problem. Oh, the chip stocks, watch out. AMD down by 2.9%. You don't want to see the chip stocks. Ooh, Oracle down 2%. Okay. Dell's down 2%. Intel, they all just dropped. Look at this. All the chip stocks just dropped. We got Intel down by 1.7% right now. Yeah, the Dow's in the positive. The NASDAQ's the problem, man. Look at that move. NASDAQ off by 0.4%. S&P's off by 0.2. Dow actually in the green right now. You accelerate higher. Yeah, look at, they're selling NVIDIA and buying Walmart. They're selling NVIDIA, they're selling AMD, they're selling Oracle, they're selling Dell, they're buying Walmart. Even UNH, look at that spike. You're still negative, but UNH just traded down to 300, and we're back to 303.33 right now. Checking out the usual culprits in the Dow. You got the Home Depot up by about 0.1% right now. Ooh, Apple even. Okay. Somebody's coming in with some selling of the leaders out here, man. How's this market going to plow higher if we got Apple, NVIDIA, Intel, Oracle, Dell, all getting clobbered by 1 to 2% to kick things off? You're going to see some pressure to the downside. VIX sustaining so far. All right, let's take a look at the volume in the NASDAQ 100 as we're going to get some action right now, and that is quite a volume spike on the open. Put it back to a daily. All right, we'll see where we go. We already done 135,000 contracts. You only did 450 all of Friday. Now, the opening gate is always a big one. See where we go from there. All right. Jump around to some other headlines. Speaking of Tesla, so Tesla's up 1.1%, up $3.20. You pull over the article here talking about, this is the last thing you want to hear about. But yeah, you better believe it's a possibility. On X, Musk suggested that Tesla plans to ask shareholders whether Tesla should invest in XAI. Man, you better have your spikes up if you're investing in Tesla. Okay, you don't become the richest man in the world by just giving away your wealth. He is a brilliant man that has changed the world for the better on many fronts. But if you think it serves investors well to have Elon ask his followers on X whether he should use his publicly traded company to invest in his privately traded company, I don't think you have to think long and hard whether you would want that taking place if you were an investor in that equity, right? Do you think Tesla's money is best served by investing in XAI right now, Elon's private company, at the valuations they're searching for? Be hard-pressed to reasonably argue that that is the best deployment of capital. Now, the reasonable case that you could make, okay, is that, yeah, XAI is going to be the behemoth that has all the AI and data centers, okay? We've been talking about that XAI is raising billions of dollars. Yeah, here it is, right? and they're going to spend that money in months. It's going to be gone because they're building out data capacity, AI, etc. So Tesla accessing that, yeah. But the term self-dealing comes to mind when you talk about allowing a publicly traded company like Tesla to be investing in his private ventures. I'm not sure the valuations and so forth. You get the point. Nonetheless, Tesla higher today on that news. All right. And what else do we got going on, folks? So, the World Series of Poker. They have reached the final 9 players. And what's pretty cool is, for the first time since 1995, you have a woman making the final table, Leo Margetts. And yeah, she's been around for a while. She's a pro. She's a Winamax Pro, which is a site that plays in Europe. And she had a deep run in 2009, I think. This same woman. Let's see. So she was 15th place out of 24 remaining. 9,735 entrants. They're all guaranteed $1 million right now. She makes the final table. Now, they take a break today, and then they come back on Tuesday, and they start the final table. They play down to 3, I think, and then they come back on Wednesday. And there's your final 9 in there. In terms of chip counts, where we're sitting at, you got a leader out there of Mr. John Wozniak. Yeah, the other gentleman out here that's a big one is Michael Mizrachi. I already brought up his name. He's the gentleman who won the $50,000 Players' Championship this year for the 4th time. And now he's at the main event final table. Not bad. But yeah, a woman at the final table. That'd be great. Let's get some more women into poker. Why not, man? That'll be one of the stories this year that you hear. Good for her. We're coming back. One more segment. Don't go away, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. Look at this volume we got in the S&Ps right now. You got the S&Ps, you charge higher. From that 945 bar, 950, this is a big volume start to the day. Usually you see a spike in the first 5 minutes, 15 minutes. We are sustaining volume right now, and you are testing the highs. S&P's negative by just 5 points right now. Looking at the volume, yeah, already almost 250,000 contracts, man. You do 1 million contracts on Friday. And that was in the S&P, and on the NASDAQ 100, we're negative by about 27. Let's check back on some of those equities that we're ripping. Yeah, Apple still off by 1.5%. Off $3 just like that. NVIDIA shares off of the lows, but still off almost $2 for NVIDIA. The chip stocks, look at Oracle, giving it up by almost $5 right now. Dell off by almost 2% as well. So here's the cool part, right? And this woman played tremendous, man. I saw a hand, and I'll try and find this hand, okay, that this woman played. I thought she was out of her mind. And not everybody can be a little bit out of their mind playing poker, okay? You go for some bluffs, right? It looks, every bluff, the expression goes, it's the right move every time until the last time. As in, if somebody's bluffing, right, they're bluffing, they're playing aggressive, it's always the right move until the last time when they get caught. And you can't get caught once in a tournament unless you're busted. She played a tremendous hand early on where she bluffed on the river, turned her pair of aces actually into a bluff that made a gentleman fold 3 of a kind. But this is how lucky you got to get, not in a bad way. The roller coaster, man. Okay, so check it out. With 16 people left, this woman gets it in with jacks versus ace-king. She's a 57-43 favorite. It's a race, as they call it in poker, okay? She's a slight favorite. The flop comes ace, queen, 9. She's drawn to 2 jacks or runner straight flush for a 67 million chip pot. 16 people left. Well, what happens, folks? The turn comes the 3 of clubs, and you know what's coming because she made the final table, right? The river, the 2 of clubs, and there's her 5-card flush, and she's at the final table, and everyone's guaranteed $1 million. And yeah, that plays out starting tomorrow. But a woman making the final table first time since 1995. 30 years with that poker boom. Good for her. Good for poker. All right, folks, stay tuned. Basil Chapman's coming up next. He's talking equities with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Have a great Monday.